Hi everyone, I am Vipin. You are 14 CS221. Here I am going to explain about the first experiment in database systems lab. So this is my experiment and this is my SQL commands with the outputs. Uh, so the first moving on to the first question. This is the question. Create the table customer with primary key constraints. So moving on to the query. I have used attributes such as customer ID, customer address, city, state, postal code for the inner details of the table customer, and I have used a primary key to set it as a unique key. And likewise, I have created other tables like order, order line, product, suppliers with the primary key attributes. And moving on to the third question, my third question was to add foreign key reference to the customer ID attribute. So for that, I have used alter table command to modify to add foreign key reference to the customer ID attribute. Then moving on to the fourth question, my fourth question was to modify the attribute product finish in the product table to product materials. Uh, so um, So moving on to my fourth question. My fourth question was to modify the attribute product underscore finish in the product table to product material. So for that, I have used again the alter table command to modify the attribute product underscore finish in the product table to product material. So then moving on to the fifth question, my fifth question was to add an attribute called price in the order line table. So same as the previous question, I have used the alter table command to add an attribute called price in the order line table. So as you can see here, I have added an attribute called price number using the alter table to the order line table. Then moving on to the sixth question, my sixth question was to add a check constraint to ordered quantity column and check that the quantity is above 5. So my question is to add a check constraint to ordered quantity column and check that the quantity is above 5. So moving on to the queries, I have used alter table. I've used alter table to modify the ordered quantity constraint and to check whether the ordered quantity is greater than 5. Then moving on to my seventh question. My seventh question is to rename order line to order quantity. So for renaming the name from order quantity to order line, I have used a rename command and I have followed by the order line to order quantity, the name to which it should be renamed to. And moving on to my eighth question was to add supplier address column to supplier table. So again, I have used alter table command to add the supplier address column to supplier table. Then moving on to the ninth question, to describe all the tables. So for describing all the tables, I have used desc command to describe all the tables, etc. And 10th question was to add primary key constraint to all the tables. For adding a primary key constraint, I have used alter table followed by the name add primary key and to which primary key the ID should be added. I have used that name order ID. Then moving on to my 11th question. My 11th question was to modify the data type of rating to decimal. So I should modify the data type of rating to decimal. So for that I have used alter table followed by the modify command and I have inside the parenthesis I have did rating decimal 10,2. So the rating has changed to decimal size. Then moving on to my 12th question. My 12th question was to add a not null constraint to customer name and address. For adding a not null constraint to customer name and address, again I have used alter table command followed by the modify command and saying that the constraint is not null. Then the third question was to add unique key constraint to order ID in the order table. So for that, alter table command and modify commands were used, and finally setting it as a unique key. Then going to my 15th question. My 15th question was to drop the column supplier address in the supplier table. It has asked to drop the column supplier address in the supplier table. So for that, I have used drop command. First of all, I have used alter table command to add the supplier, and I have used drop command to drop the column supplier add. Then they have asked to drop the table order. For that, I have just used a drop command and followed by the table orders, and the table was dropped. And finally, they have asked to use the truncate command to truncate the tables. So for that, I have used truncate command followed by the table name. So this is my experiment regarding the first experiment in database lab. Thank you.